Welcome back to the latest episode of the Toronto Blue Jays Career Sim. I'm JayBlue, and you can find me on Twitter at JaysFromAway, and you're watching General Manager Games on YouTube. So thanks for joining us. And here we are. We are now into July. We've got the All-Star Game coming up, and it is July 5th, and we are at a 37-53 record. So that's not as sort of high as we've been in terms of our winning percentage so far this season. We have had a lot of trouble with our pitching. It's almost a good place to have sort of a mid-season summary. So I'm actually going to go here to our reports and info, and we'll be able to see sort of what has been going on over the course of the season. As you can see here, our team batting average leader is Vladi Guerrero. He leads the team in home runs. He leads the team in RBI. On the pitching side, we've got three guys with 5 wins. Matt Boyd, Wade Davis, who's a reliever, and Nate Pearson. Well, Pearson is really the only guy with an under 4 ERA who's thrown any number of innings. Matt Boyd is cold. Billy McKinney, Vladi Guerrero, and Lourdes Gurriel are all three of them are hot. This is a look at our pitching staff. So right now, Sean Reed-Foley is in a starting role. He's made a couple of starts. He's not doing too badly. Hyunjin Ryu is doing, not great. Paul Campbell's not doing badly either. He's had some good starts that haven't brought him a win. Matt Boyd, we're not paying him much, so it's not like, he's making $1.9 million, and he's only arbitration eligible, so we can easily just non-tender him if it's just not working out. In the bullpen, Jordan Romano has really been getting shelled. Yes, shelled. Tim Meza's been doing okay. Shawn Yamaguchi has actually been doing pretty well lately. He hasn't been bitten by the home run bug quite as much. If we look at his home run rate, it's down a fairly big amount, 1.4 per 9 innings, 3.7 walks per 9. That's up a little bit, and his strikeout rate is down a little bit since last year. But he's actually doing quite well this season. 1.18 whip is pretty good, and 83 strikeouts and 65 and a third innings. But he is, we're only halfway through the season, and he's got 65 and a third innings. So, he's on pace for about 130, 120 innings. Danny Jimenez is doing okay. Wade Davis having a great season, and Ken Giles is just the man. It makes me so glad we gave him the $11 million for a bunch of seasons for Kenny Giles. Wilmer Font not doing well. So we actually do have a couple of guys in the minors who can help us. And I think I'm going to send Wilmer Font. Let me see what I can do with him because he's out of option years. And so the question becomes, is it time to just cut bait? I'm going to say, yeah, he's got a negative 0.6 WAR. So I'm going to waive him and designate him for assignment. And if he doesn't want to take a minor league assignment, we'll just release him then or try to trade him. So we're now putting him through waivers. We do have a space now, and we have some guys in Buffalo. So, for example, Curtis Taylor has been looking good in Buffalo. Julian Merriweather has been looking very good in Buffalo. He did not look very good in Toronto. That said, Zach Jackson has been doing pretty well, and Zach Eflin has been doing very well, as well as there's another guy, Kirby Sneed. Kirby Sneed, I think, has some improvement, but Zach Jackson is actually red hot. But I'm going to go with Zach Eflin. Zach Eflin has been very, very good, and Kaz Tsutsumi as well. But again, that 45 stuff, I don't know how well that's going to play in the major leagues, despite the fact that he is a ground ball pitcher, but he's also struck out more than a batter per inning in Buffalo. But I think Eflin is kind of the most ready, and he's only 27. He has been starting, but he may be a nice bullpen option. So we're promoting him to Toronto. The Buffalo Bisons they're not going to be too short-handed. Trent Thornton goes into the rotation here. And then we go up to Toronto and sort of just work Eflin in. He's going to be a middle reliever. So that gives us at least another guy that we can hopefully rely upon to sort of shore up that bullpen. All right, I think we're ready to start our sim right now. And here we go. We've got Matthew Boyd facing Tyler Glasnow. Not an encouraging pitching matchup. And the Tampa Bay Rays are pretty good. And so we have a loss. We lost 9-2. We'll come back to this trade proposal in a second. It's July, so the trade deadline's in less than a month, so we're going to get a lot more trade proposals. Vladi Guerrero, another big game, a double and a home run, his 16th of the year, and that was 2 of the 4 hits that the Jays got. Billy McKinney with 1, Santiago Espinal with another, and on the mound, Matt Boyd demolished. I'm actually going to see if anybody wants to trade for him. Shop now. So Matt Boyd is getting some offers. Hopefully he'll get something. I'm almost wondering, I mean, is he just going to get nothing? But his contract will probably make somebody want to take a look at him. All right, here we're coming up to 98%, 100%, and we have nothing. Nobody wants Matty B, Matt Boyd. So that is a little bit disappointing, and we're going to have to sort of suffer through him because we don't really have a lot of guys who can start games for us. So this trade, we're being offered Starling Marte. They want Gavin Casas. So Starling Marte is doing okay. He doesn't have much of an eye. He's 32. He's making $2.6 million. He's a free agent at the end of the season. He's got speed. He's got pretty good defense. He's got a good arm out there in the outfield. He's not a true center fielder, which is kind of a problem. But in left field, where we've got Gurriel, it's not bad. But I think the ask is a little too much here. I think, they want Casas, who is doing really well. I may move him up very shortly. He's actually hitting very, very well right now in the Gulf Coast League. He's 20 years old. I may move him up very shortly, and maybe by the end of the trip. So, or of this sim, Jose Villegas, he was signed. He was our free agent, international free agent target. We're going to send him to the Dominican Summer League. And we're going to get him into the lineup right away. We're going to do the same thing with him. He's just barely 16. And we're going to do the same thing with him that we did with Alfredo Chacon. And so Villegas is going to first base. His outfield range, I want to make him play center field because even though he can play first base, and his infield defense is not bad for a first baseman. That's just a huge waste of his defensive abilities. So I'm going to force start him at center field. We're paying him $5 million, so that's a nice bonus for him. And there he is. Villegas is playing center field. So that's really great to see. Now here we are in the second game of our sim, Carlos Rodon and Nate Pearson. And we sim, and we win. J.D. Martinez is eligible to come off the IL. And I just want to take a look at Anthony Kay. Anthony Kay, he looks like he's rounding into form. I'm going to give him one more outing as a rehab start. I'm going to give him one more before we go and bring him back to Toronto. Now we can take a look. Billy McKinney is hot. Forrest Wall is hitting very well. Randall Grichuk is not. Randall Grichuk is actually doing terribly. We still have tons of time left on his contract. He's another guy that I'm actually going to try to shop around a little bit. And I'm just going to pause while we shop him around because it could take a few seconds. That might get a little bit boring. And as you can see, there is no offer for Randall Grichuk. That's, again, very disappointing. Randy, handsome Randy. is not really wanted by anybody. Lourdes Gurriel, not doing great. He is hitting for power, but he is not getting on base. Santiago Espinal, who do we send down? So this is the question of what we're doing now. Who do we send down to make room for J.D. Martinez? And it could be Espinal. It could be... Yeah, I think it is going to be Espinal. So we've sent Espinal down, and we're just going to get our lineups here. J.D. Martinez goes back into that DH slot. So Danny Jansen, again, we're going to let him play a little bit more often than what is going on now. Because I do want Danny Jansen to play, and I want him to really get the experience and so that he can improve. So here we are, Pearson dominant in the win, 11 strikeouts, just 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 2/3. That could very well be one of the best outings of his career. All the runs given up by Amir Garrett and Danny Jimenez. Ken Giles coming on for the save. Ever effective and ever, coming in to put out fires. Kevin Biggio hit 2 home runs. He went 2 for 4, adding a walk. It's funny. He's got 10 home runs now. His OPS is definitely getting better. 216, 321, 399. So that's better than his 217, 306, 324 slash line from last year. He's still not into... I don't think he's into positive OPS plus. Yeah, he's still 13% below average. But if he can, and he's got 10 stolen bases without getting caught. So he has 1 WAR after 0.1 WAR in his 2020 season. So there's definitely some improvement here. And his fielding at second base in Buffalo, but in Toronto, he's not doing great in second base. He was actually better in real life last year. Bo Bichette here with a home run as well. Billy McKinney with a home run. Randy Grichuk with a couple of hits. Maybe he heard that we were trying to trade him. And Luis Garcia with a hit, and Forrest Wall with 2 more hits. So there's a nice game for the Blue Jays, a 6-2 win over Tampa. And now we send Sean Reed-Foley to the mound against Yanni Chirinos. And we have another loss, 4-0 loss. The offense really couldn't get anything in gear. Hits from Biggio, Bichette, Guerrero, Martinez, who had a double, Garcia, and Lucroy. And Sean Reed-Foley with a decent start. Yeah, I'll take that every day. If you give me that 3 runs in 6 2/3, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, I'm going to take that every day. But it's Zach Eflin giving up a solo home run. Jordan Romano, a strong outing for him, too. That's really nice to see. I'm just going to check on Anthony Kay right now. So Wilmer Font cleared waivers. Nobody wanted him. So we're going to try to assign him to AAA. And he did accept his... I don't know if he was in a position where he could refuse it, but he did accept his assignment. I'm just going to check on Anthony Kay. Did he have another start yet? He did, and he gave up 2 runs in 4 innings, 6 strikeouts. So it's time to bring him back, which means we need to send somebody out. So the question is who? We have Zach Eflin had 1 outing and stunk, but I'm going to give him a little bit more of a runway. Amir Garrett with Toronto has not been great. So part of that 4.93 ERA is from his time in Cincinnati. So Amir Garrett is possibly another option. Danny Jimenez has not been great, but he also has options, I believe. Jordan Romano had a good start. So I'm thinking of Kay as a lefty. I could also send out Sean Reed-Foley, but I want to give him more of a chance. So Kay is a lefty, and I think it's going to be Danny Jimenez. I don't have to expose him to, although he is pitching high leverage. I'm going to make it Amir Garrett. I'm just going to see demote. Yeah, he's out of option years. So I'm going to make it Jimenez just because I think, call it asset management, call it what you want. I think I want to try to keep Garrett around a little bit longer. If by the end of the year, he's just not doing any better, then perhaps I will do something about that. But let's ask the bench coach for the bullpen. Anthony Kay goes into a setup role, taking over for Danny Jimenez, who was just sent down. But really, it's our starters who are the problem. So, he may be eventually a solution to take over for Matt Boyd and move Boyd into the bullpen. So Anthony Kay definitely could be an option there. And we also have Zach Eflin stretched out a little bit. So, again, he's been pitching in the rotation in Buffalo. And, it's a new role for him coming out of the bullpen. That could matter to some people, I guess. So, in that game that we just played, we haven't played it yet because we had a day off. We have a trade proposal. Miami Marlins want to send us Monty Harrison, who is terrible. Or at least has been this year in the major leagues. He's playing in the Pacific Coast League doing and they want Nick Gonzalez in return. I don't think so. Nick Gonzalez is still fighting that sprained knee. But, yeah, that's not happening. So here we go. Against the Yankees, Hyunjin Ryu has been playing pretty poorly. But let's see what happens today. Well, we got a win. 5-4 win, another trade proposal from Arizona. They want Jonathan Lucroy, and they're considering sending us Eduardo Escobar. Now, this is a little bit intriguing because we do have some catchers. Lucroy, he wants to start, and maybe that's great, and he's doing okay. He's not doing fantastic. And so you can see here we are comparing Eduardo Escobar with Luis Garcia, who's I think our primary third baseman right now. Garcia has a better OBP, slightly worse slugging percentage, but has 2 points on OPS and 3 points in OPS plus. The BABIP is higher, which may mean that it would regress and Escobar would improve. WRC plus is definitely leaning towards Garcia. And if you look at defense, Garcia is a much better defender, and rating at third base is the same. So, I don't think we're gaining anything by that. Our owner definitely wants us to address our third base situation, but Garcia's actually doing pretty well. So we're not going to make this trade because it doesn't really improve us at all. Hyunjin Ryu was injured. So let's take a look at what happened here. He only went 1 inning. Shawn Yamaguchi got hit fairly hard in 2 2/3. Jordan Romano got hit fairly hard in 1 1/3. Zach Eflin with 2 scoreless innings. Wade Davis and Ken Giles all combined to finish. Ryu, the diagnosis is a strained hamstring day to day. And with Ryu, who is very injury prone, I don't like to have him pitching with with an injury, even a day-to-day one, just because it would sort of increase the likelihood that it's going to get worse. So Vladi Guerrero hit a home run, his 17th of the year. Forrest Wall, another couple of hits. Danny Jansen with 2 hits, so that's nice to see Danny. Randall Grichuk 1 for 3 with 2 RBI, but not a lot of offensive stuff there. So here we are. We've got to review our starting rotation. We're going to bring Anthony Kay into the starting rotation. We do need to bring somebody up from the minors to take the place of Hyunjin Ryu on the roster. So we're going to bring Danny Jimenez back. Go Danny. And I'm going to ask the bench coach for the bullpen. And Anthony Kay is a little tired, you can see here, but he'll be ready by the time his next turn in the rotation comes up. And we have one more game with the New York Yankees. And what is happening with the Yankees? They're creating a baseball card. So I think we are going to be getting some news about the All-Star game. And we got a proposal, a trade proposal. once again, Monty Harrison, they're offering him to us, and they want Zach Logue, and Zach Logue's doing okay as a reliever, but Simeon Woods Richardson, no, we can't give that guy up. All-Star voting final results. What happens? Vladi falls out of the top 3 in All-Star voting for first base. We have no Blue Jays were voted in. Ken Giles came the closest. He was 4th place for relievers. Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Luis Robert, Gleyber Torres, Austin Meadows, Yohan Moncada, Luis Arias, and Jordan Alvarez, and top vote getter, Yordan Alvarez. He's got 34 home runs already. He's a monster. Yordan is just 24 years old. Monster year for Yordan Alvarez. He's hitting 340. That's just insane. JT Realmuto also gets the job for the catchers. So here are the final All-Star Game rosters. In the American League, Nate Pearson gets his first All-Star appearance. Any other Blue Jays? We're just scanning this right now for a Blue Jay. I think Ken Giles could get it as well. He's been very good. But no, it doesn't look like any other pitchers. We do have nobody else. So that's it. Nobody else. We have one All-Star. That's our good friend, Nate Pearson. And the prospects game. Let's see if we've got any Blue Jays. Yeah, Simeon Woods Richardson. He's going to the prospects game. Gabriel Moreno is going to the prospects game. Bo Naylor, good Canadian boy, he's going to the prospects game. And that looks like it's it. Yeah, 2 Blue Jays going to the prospects game. So not bad. Not bad at all. And it looks like they've traded Starling Marte, or no, Jeffrey Marte. Not Starling Marte, who was offered to us. So we did lose 9-1 to the Yankees in this game. Bo Bichette had a couple hits. Vladi had a hit, and Kevin Biggio with a hit and a walk. Paul Campbell, not a great start, but not a horrible one. Amir Garrett, Wade Davis, and Tim Meza finish the game. So the Blue Jays go into the All-Star break with a whimper. Our winning percentage is pretty much exactly the same as it was when we went into this week. I do want to check out what Travis Shaw is doing. Shaw is pretty cold. He's not doing a heck of a lot. We do have him as sort of a backup player right now, so he's not playing an awful lot. And so that is going to be the major league side of things. We're going to take a look at the minor league side of things right now. So we're going to go over to our schedule and take a look at the Buffalo Bisons. Buffalo Bisons, not a great week. Oh, we're going to sim one more day before Blue Jays are off, but we're going to sim the day, and we will just get to the other side, get to Monday. We have another trade proposal. Ty Dameron, a left-handed pitcher. It's a minor leaguer. He's in AAA. For Leonardo Jimenez and Gabriel Ponce. Yeah, no, thanks. All these trades have been pretty bad. No players of the week. Yeah, that's... Oh, we actually did have a game. We actually won. That's funny. I didn't see that in the listing. So we did have a game. We won. Billy McKinney, J.D. Martinez, Randall Grichuk hitting home runs. Jonathan Lucroy with a couple of hits. Luis Garcia with a hit. Randall Grichuk with a hit. That's the home run. Bo Bichette with a hit. Vladi Guerrero is hitless. And Forrest Wall with a hit and a walk. Matt Boyd, a decent start, 2 runs in 5 innings, but 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. Zach Eflin got a blown save, giving up a run. Danny Jimenez with a scoreless outing, and Jordan Romano with a scoreless outing to pick up the win. And the win was a Forrest Wall walk-off single, so good for Forrest Wall. I mean, he's kind of been the surprise guy this year. Like, he's come up and done more than anyone's asked him to. Very solid bat, and fielding wise, he's doing okay. He's doing okay. All right, let's go back to the minor leagues and check out the Buffalo Bisons, who took another loss. So 2 wins, 5 losses in that week. Pretty bad. They're 39-50. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Lots of losses, but they won the last couple, including a 14-4 victory. Cullen Large led the charge. 5 hits and 5 at-bats. So for Large, it was a home run, a double, missed the cycle by a triple, but 5 for 5 with 5 RBI. Nick Podkull also had a big game, 2 for 4. Vinny Capra with a 3 for 5 game. Will Robertson 2 for 5. Gabby Moreno 2 for 5. Really, really nice game overall. On the mound, Elvis Luciano, 4 innings, came out but struck out 9. Josh Winkowski, a good outing in relief, striking out 6 in 3 innings, and Turner Larkins gave up 2 runs in 2 innings. So we're going to go to the Dunedin Blue Jays, see how they've been doing. They've been losing more than they've been winning, just 2 wins here. 15-4 loss, 6-1 win against Lakeland. They're pretty bad. They've got an under 300 winning percentage. In this win, the 6-1 win, we got a home run from Hagen Danner. Jordan Groshans is having a pretty terrible season. And you can see his contact rating is still at 25. He's really not improving. And that's really the disappointing thing, is even though he is in, he's at a new level, his OPS is slightly better, and his OPS plus is 10 points better, and his WAR is better than last year. He is having a better season than last year in Lansing, but he doesn't seem to be improving in key areas. Alex Nolan having a great season, quietly. Really nice to see. Good Canadian boy. Let's take a look at the Lansing Lugnuts. Lansing Lugnuts, more wins than losses, 4-3 week, 10-3 win against Lake County. That's, I think, the highlight of their week. PK Morris with 4 hits in this one, including 2 doubles. Nick Gonzalez with a couple of doubles. Miguel Geraldo with a double in this one, 4 hits. Tanner Kerwer, Angel Camacho. Really nice game for a lot of these hitters. And Gabriel Ponce, really good. Edison Gonzalez comes back, and he's not having a great season. But Gabriel Ponce here, great start for him. Now let's take a look at the Vancouver Canadians. How are they doing? They're 10-8 overall. This week has basically given them 6 wins. Really nice week for the Vancouver Canadians. 1-0 win. Who was on the mound for that? That was Ethan Smith, one of our draft picks last year. He is repeating the level, and he is really doing well, so that is excellent. He may get a boost. He's 22, so I may boost him up to Lansing. I think this sim I will boost him up to Lansing, because he's really dominating right now. 0.77 ERA, 30 strikeouts in 23.1 innings. Offensively, very little going on here in this game. We had a nice 4-2 win here, and Orelvis Martinez, it's good to see him hit. He hit a couple singles in this one. Orelvis was just awesome last year, at least till he was promoted, but he has really struggled at the level in Vancouver. Ian Bedell with a strong start, and Jose Rivas was injured. Still waiting for a diagnosis on that one. 6-2 win, and Josiah Miller here with a solid game. He's having a solid season. We're going to check out a little bit more here. Tony Bullard, he was one of our draft picks this year. His 12th round pick. Not having a great offensive numbers, but that was a good game for him. And Keyshawn Askew with a decent outing, 6 strikeouts in 5 innings. And the bullpen was really nice here. We're going to check out the Bluefield Blue Jays. And 5 losses and 2 wins. We had a 2-1 win, and that was Ben Hernandez with a solid outing, striking out 8 in 5 innings. He's also had a really good start to his season. Bullpen was really good in this one. Offensively, Jean-Christophe Masson with 3 hits, and Carson Wells with a pair of hits. Let's look at the 5-0 win. 5-0 win, Jack Burden with a couple of hits. He hit a double. Carson Wells with a double. Trey Harmon with a couple of hits. Javier Dorazio with a couple of hits. Steven Rivas with a couple of hits. And Jose Izarra with a couple of hits. And Brian Mejia gets a start. And Nico Cole into relief. We'll go down to the Gulf Coast League now. And 3 wins, 3 losses. 10-2 win. That's also always nice to look at these big run-scoring games. B. Smith, Brandon Smith, 21-year-old, 2 for 4. Jay Aquino, 2 for 4. Casas was injured. So he's the guy that was being asked about in trade, so he's out for 2 to 3 weeks. On the mound, Philip Abner. So he's still having a rough season, but 3 1/3. He was injured while pitching, but he's okay, and there was a rain delay in the 6th. Fernando Chacon and Alfredo Chacon with another home run. That's his 4th home run of the season. So he is performing like beyond we'd ever think. This is our guy last year who was the international free agent. All right. And we'll go down to the Dominican Summer League, mainly to check in on this year's selection or signee in the international free agent competition. This is Jose Villegas, and he's not off to a good start. But remember, 16 years old. If he starts to improve by the end of the season, promote him to the GCL next year. We've got a 17-year-old in the GCL. And we're just going to have that's Class A, so we're going to have our game type, time frame, split. I think we want scope. There we go. Dominican Rookie League. Okay. So anybody doing okay? Well, we have a lot of guys, but not a lot of guys with a ton of playing time. Omar Gutierrez is not bad. That's not a lot of playing time for him. Leifar Yege, not a lot of playing time. Angel Del Rosario, 63 OPS plus, not very good. Rainer Nunez, 87 OPS plus. Here's Robert Robertus, 143 OPS plus. So Robertus definitely doing well. Let's see, he's hitting 350. I think it may be time to promote him. Villegas, Scott Agar, Starling Beltre. Yeah, it's time to promote him too. He is 18, so he's going to come up to the GCL. And we get new lineups. On the pitching side, not a lot of positivity that I can tell you about here. Jorge Ramirez, I think, yeah, he's not on the injured list because it's pending. All right, that's enough of that. We're going to go up to the GCL. How are we doing? We got 22 players. Who's doing well? Keegan Allen, doing well. 1.54 ERA. I think he's our first-round pick, 9th-round pick. Philip Abner, also, he's a 5th-round pick this year. Okay, Drew Dowd is doing well. Liam Norris, not bad. Again, looking primarily at strikeout to walk ratios, so here Roddy Sanchez not doing badly. And in terms of lineups, we've got 27 batters, so we might try to thin this out a little bit. Wilfran Astudillo, Gary David, both hitting very, very well. Astudillo is a little better. Joseph Califat is scuffling a bit, but this is his first year as a pro. Who else is getting some? Esteban Machado is back from the injured list, I believe, and he is tearing it up. He's still just 18, so I'm just going to give him another couple of weeks to see and before I move him up. But Esteban Machado back from the injured list and just killing it. Drake Varnado is struggling. Robert Robertus is now going to not get into the lineup. Hey, that's interesting. Caden Grice. Again, we do have a lot of outfielders here. Robbie Ashford has a very low ISO. He's hitting very well, but he's also not playing he is playing every day. Starling Beltre also is not getting into the everyday lineup. But we'll see what happens here. Alfredo Chacon doing very, very well. But again, his age, he's so young, I do not want to move him just yet. There are definitely a lot of guys here who are going to be on the chopping block in the off-season. Looking up at Bluefield, we do have some room here. Yeah, and not a lot of guys are doing really well. Jose Izarra is, and in fact, the problem with moving him up is he's playing shortstop. Problem with moving him up is going to be playing time, because he's not going to get a lot of playing time with Orelvis Martinez in Vancouver. So I'm going to keep him here for now. Jean-Christophe Masson doing very, very well, but he doesn't have his very much power right now. He does have potential, so we're hoping to see some of that come through. Right now, his 0.53 ISO. Let's hopefully see that higher by the end of the season. And Steven Rivas, not bad. Okay, so let's see the pitching for Bluefield. Alexander Ayala, Ben Hernandez doing very well, and I'm going to move him to. I'm definitely going to move him to. I'm going to leave him here for another couple weeks. He's not the guy I want to move. I want to move Nico Cole. Come on, Nico. Fine. I'm going to promote him. I'm going to promote Zachary Murray, 18 strikeouts and 2 walks. He's got 2 strikeouts an inning. He's going up to Vancouver. Kyle Music, great name. All right. We've gotten our pitchers down to 25. We're going to go up to Vancouver. We've got 21 in Vancouver, so we are going to promote Ethan Smith. Ethan Smith was the guy we were looking at. George Arias Jr. is not doing badly. Keyshawn Askew is doing very, very well. He's 21. We're going to leave him longer. Leave him here longer. This is just his first professional season, so we don't want to move people too quickly in their first pro year. Brandon Knar is doing pretty well, so 5 innings, but it's too little time to really develop an idea of what we think he's going to be. Kendall Williams, yeah, I remember that he's been reassessed. I mean, he's got great stuff, potential, and good movement potential, but that control is just going to hold him back so much, and it might be better, despite the fact that he has 4 pitches. I'm just going to see if they're going to put him. Yeah, they are going to put him back into the rotation, which is what I wanted to see. I would have force started him had that not happened. Offensively, Jose Rivas has an injury that is pending. Bobby Seymour, Orelvis Martinez, he's one of the biggest prospects on this team, and he's really kind of floundering a little bit. Josiah Miller is doing okay, not great. And really nobody on this team who's playing regularly is doing great, except for maybe Francisco Ruiz. So it's a little bit disappointing. And we're going to move up to Lansing now. And Lansing, Yorman Rodriguez doing fine. The best offensive player here, Scotty Bradley and Angel Camacho. Miguel Giraldo is doing okay. Leonardo Jimenez is scuffling with the bat. And then, Adrian Ramos is okay, and John Solarte, I think, is starting to bring his offensive stats up. And on the mound, we actually have to make room now for Ethan Smith, who's been promoted. Antonio Saldana is our number 1 guy. Eric Pardinho I think he's doing better lately. 7 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. That's definitely better. The big thing with Pardinho is, he needs to get back after not pitching for a couple of years. Edison Gonzalez is not doing well. We may move on from him fairly soon. Kloffenstein has been moved to the bullpen. I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. The control is pretty low. Lazaro Estrado, Gabriel Ponce. I'm gonna make him force start. That may bounce Ponce out of the rotation, but I'm going to force start him. All right. Yeah, it's going to force Ponce out. But I think he needs to start. I want him to be a starter. I want him to be effective. But, I mean, his 35 control, maybe another year, maybe move him up next year. He's already doing better in the strikeout and walk numbers, so maybe promote him next year and see what happens. And we've already seen the lineup, so we're going up to Dunedin. Hagen Danner doing very poorly. Brett Wright, I think we had an injury here. Chris Beck and Philip Clark are both injured, but they've only got a few days left on the injured list and with their injuries, so they're going to be back soon. So I'm not going to release Hagen Danner just yet, but I think when Philip Clark and Christopher Beck are back, we'll have them. So Jordan Groshans is doing okay. Rafael Antigua is doing okay. Justin Ammons doing okay. Not a lot of really impressive numbers here. Johnny Aiello's doing okay. Groshans here, again, this 25 contact, we haven't seen much improvement. And he's definitely a liability at shortstop. We may move him to third base. Are we going to do that now? I'm going to do that now. We're giving up on Groshans as a shortstop. We're going to move him to third base. And then let's see what happens. Otto Lopez will go back to short. On the mound here, again, we haven't had a lot of really great stuff to watch here. We do have a lot of injuries. Alek Manoah, Justin Maesi. Manoah's pretty much done for the year. Maximo Castillo is probably the only guy coming back of that group. Jackson Rees has been starting. Kyle Johnston has not been doing as well as he did last year. I wonder, he's angry. What's he angry about? He's angry about his performance. He's unhappy about his role on the team. Doesn't handle losing well. So he's a suck and is a bad loser. I hope, that's not reflective of the real Kyle Johnston. Sorry, Kyle. But really, if you look down here, Daysbel Hernandez is really one of the only guys doing well from an ERA perspective. Bobby Johnson's doing pretty well. It's pretty ugly. And the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Here's where we start to have some more prominent prospects like Gabby Moreno. Moreno is unhappy about the team record. The team is not doing well. But he's happy about his performance. He's, good overall morale. So nice to see there. Christian Williams doing well in a limited role. Cullen Large, red hot. Samad Taylor is doing pretty well. He's not getting a ton of playing time. Other guys, Griffin Conan, who the Blue Jays just traded, reportedly, to Miami, where his father was a big star. He's had a great start to his AA career. He's hitting at over league average rates. Casey Clemens, big season for him. Not hitting with as much power as we'd like to see. I mean, that 13 home runs for Moreno is leading the team. Joey Murray continues. I mean, his last outing, 3 runs. And then he only went 2/3 of an inning in that previous start. But Joey Murray is impressing me. Graham Spraker as well. Simeon Woods Richardson as well. 3 guys here. And I think I may move one of them soon. And Elvis Luciano, I think, is improving. So that's really nice to see. His second year here in the minors since the Blue Jays took him as a Rule 5 pick. So we have some nice guys here. Zach Logue is doing well in a relief role. And moving up to Buffalo. Buffalo, these guys are a little short-handed right now. Spencer Turnbull, Taylor Salcedo on the injured list, and Chavez Young is 6 weeks on the injured list. So I think we could use some help here. So I'm going to move Joey Murray to AAA. And I'm going to bring up Bobby Johnson to AA. Really not a lot of choice here. And from Lansing with 17 guys, Is there anyone who deserves a promotion? Antonio Saldana could get one. I think he could handle A-ball. Advanced A-ball. 2770. Gabriel Ponce. And he's 22. I'm going to bring up Ponce to Dunedin. And that actually will help, because I think he's going to go into the rotation here. Yeah, he's the number 2 guy in the rotation. And I think that is going to help out both Ponce, give him the starting. It's going to help out here. Sean Weimer is going into the rotation with Bobby Jansen taking over as a setup man. And in Buffalo, we have an extra pitcher. Joey Murray goes to the top of the rotation, but again, that's mostly because he is being force started. But yeah, stuff is at 60 already, so I think his stuff he doesn't have much more to improve. I think he is who he is, and we'll see what that's going to be in AAA. And let's look at the lineups here in AAA. Alejandro Kirk is probably the biggest prospect here. 129 OPS plus. He's got 10 home runs. He's leading the team. Patrick Kivlahan is not hitting well, but he's got 9 home runs, and so does Ryan Noda. Ruben Tejada and Yusniel Diaz are the only 2 guys other than Alejandro Kirk with OPS pluses over 100. And so at the All-Star break, what do the Blue Jays have in terms of what they've done from an offensive standpoint? Well, if we rank by WAR, Vladi Guerrero Jr. is really the only guy who's a standout. Luis Garcia and Kevin Biggio at 1 WAR. Each Forrest Wall with 0.8, 0.7 for Lucroy, Bichette 0.4, as well as McKinney. That's about it. Nate Pearson's home run that he hit, that gives him 0.1 WAR. We've got a lot of zeros. Lourdes Gurriel at a 0. Yusniel Diaz at a 0 through 61 games. Santiago Espinal at a 0. Who's negatively contributing? Well, that's Randy, J.D. Martinez, Danny Jansen, Joe Panik, Travis Shaw. So it's no wonder that we're doing pretty badly in the standings this year, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of our regulars contributing negative value in wins above replacement. From a pitching standpoint, I think you're not going to see something that's vastly different. Nate Pearson is leading the team in WAR with 2.1, but second is Ken Giles with 1.5 in a third of the innings. Anthony Kay also has 1.5, so he's been very good. Hyunjin Ryu is in the positives with Wade Davis, who again in a relief capacity. Half the innings of Ryu has the same WAR. Yamaguchi 0.6, Campbell's, Turnbull, Reed Foley all at 0.5, Jimenez at 0.4, Dolis at 0.2, and then into the negatives, and Tanner Rourke 1.2 negative win, and we've released him already. Wilmer Font has been sent down to the minors. He's been sent outright to the minors. Ryan Barucki is on the injured list, and that's not a bad thing because he was such a liability out there. Matthew Boyd is also a liability, and so is Amir Garrett, who may get the chop soon. Julian Merriweather, Jordan Romano, and Forrest Wall in his 1 pitching outing gets a negative 0.1. Negative 0.1 WAR. And that's a summary of what's going on here at the All-Star break. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you have a great day. I'm JayBlue at Jays From Away, and you're watching the General Manager Games station on YouTube. Thanks very much. Have a great day, everybody.